So this game we are in the draw, and looks like we have no green mana whatsoever. So let's ship this one back, and we'll keep this 6. Looks like Avacyn is our top card. I think we want to scry it to the bottom because we just want to get. We already have one Avacyn first of all, and we want to get up to Gideon and Avacyn and be able to play those cards on time. And we did draw another land, so now we do want to be just drawing mostly spells for the remainder of the game. Looks like we may be up against Grixis. So let's get this hanger back out. And yeah, so we have drawn consecutive lands now. And we'll see what's going on. It looks like our opponent's just going to pass the turn. And alright, it looks like there's another land, so we're just going to pass back. But this isn't really how we wanted things to proceed. This could be a Kalitas here. And it is going to be Kalitas. So we really wish we had our Dramoka's command in hand. Unfortunately, we do not. So let's just go ahead and cast this Gideon. We're definitely at this point hoping our opponent has 0 removal spells in hand. But that's pretty unlikely, considering Grixis has just a ton of removal. The deck is meant to stick Kalitas, and then essentially go off, kill off our Hangerback Walker, make a zombie, attack our Gideon. That's exactly what I'm expecting for this turn, so we'll see. Could be a Ruinous Path. Could be our opponent's deciding which to Ruinous Path, either Gideon or Hangerback Walker. It looks like it's Gideon. And alright, so our opponent's attacking, which is pretty bad news because it likely means Fiery Impulse is in our opponent's hand. So the question becomes, can we even play around the Fiery Impulse? Not sure, but I guess let's give it a shot. We'll take the damage. Interesting. It looks like our opponent's just passing the turn back. So we have the option in terms of if we want to attack here or leave back some blockers potentially. And the decision's close. I think we just want to leave back blockers though. We're pretty much hoping our opponent attacks the Kalitas into an Avacyn. With that being said, that's pretty unlikely to actually happen. So yeah, it looks like our opponent has elected smartly not to attack, so we're just going to play our Avacyn here. Alright, so this is one of those times where we've drawn Chandra, but do not actually have Oath in play, which is a little bit awkward. So we're going to send the Avacyn in. And just playing a face-down morph. It's the play I like the most here. If our opponent has something like Radiant Flames, that's going to be quite good here, but not much we're going to be able to do about it. Let's see what it's going to be. Maybe this is Goblin Dark Dwellers. Okay, yep, Goblin Dark Dwellers it is. So, expect our Archangel to get Ruinous Path here. It looks like our opponent's attacking once more with Kalitas. Pretty fed up with these types of attacks, so let's just go ahead and block. So, alright, it looks like it's just going to be Hangerback Walker trading with Kalitas. So, we can go ahead and unmorph the Den Protector now to get back Gideon. And we want to just be making a 2/2 Knight here so that potentially we can block our opponent's creatures. But we're up against 5 cards still from our opponent, which is a lot of cards. Okay, Pia and Kieran Alar. It's a pretty nice one to have here. And this is probably just going to be an attack at our Gideon. So, we're just going to let Gideon die. There's no other choice here. So I like double blocking the Dark Dwellers. What we really want to draw is that Oath of Nissa so that we can play Chandra. So, let's see. Nope, we did not draw it this turn, so just going to pass back. This matchup I don't think is bad for green-white, but when we have these types of lackluster draws and our opponent's on the play with Kalitas and Dark Dwellers and all that stuff, it's pretty bad for us. We maybe could have got rid of the Kalitas earlier. Not sure if our opponent had the Fiery Impulse or not. Either way, though, I don't think we were winning this game unless we peel Oath of Nissa for the... There's only one Chandra in the deck, but this can happen. This is one of the issues with playing Chandra in the first place. So, there's a Transgress the Mind. That's going to get to take our Chandra. And we can make a token here. But, yeah, we're just going to take this. And there's another land. So, let's go ahead and move on to game 2. So, for this matchup, we want a bunch of ways of getting rid of Kalitas. So, we want the additional stasis snares for sure. We also want these Hangerback Walkers and Evolutionary Leap and Den Protector, which is basically our control package. Cards we can afford to take out. We definitely don't want our Tragic Arrogance in this matchup. Lambholt Pacifist can come out. The Chandra, we can board that one out as well. Dramoka's Command, we can shave on Dramoka's Command. So boarding down to, say, 2. And then Archangel is another card that you can potentially shave on. Though on the play, it's pretty nice. We can also board in another Declaration if we want to. And I think that's fine. We can board in a Declaration for 1 Archangel. So let's try this. Alright, let's hope for a better opener than last time. So, this hand is questionable. We basically have to draw lands in order to win. But if we do draw them, it's going to be good news for us. So, let's keep... It's a high risk, high reward type of hand. But we have Nissa, we have Gideon. We pretty much just want 1 green source. And then we'll be in good shape. If we brick, we have the option of just casting Den Protector face up. It's not really what we want to be doing, though. But this hand has basically everything you would want except for the lands. So we drew a land. It's not a forest, which is what we would have preferred, but it is something. So we could just cast Den Protector here. Or just wait and play it later, but I think we want to just go ahead and get it into play. Our opponent's probably just going to play Jace on their turn, or something of that nature. So this at least can get in some early damage. But we would definitely rather have a different 2-drop. So there's Hangerback Walker. We are not going to be able to cast Nissa, unfortunately, but we have at least had plays we've been able to make. Radiant Flames is definitely a card our opponent could have in their deck, which wouldn't be bad here. Okay, yep, there is the Radiant Flames. And that was the turn where we really needed a land, but we're not able to draw it. We still have Secure. We could secure for 2. It's not great, but it may be our best option. We still have another window where if we draw a land, we're still definitely, in fine shape. Alright, there is another Avacyn. So we can't cast anything in our hand now. And we're just going to have to pass back. I mean, green-white can be a deck that you really want to curve out with. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. And this is one of those times. Looks like our opponent is now going to be able to see exactly what's going on here. And this transgress may take the Nissa, I would guess. So now we're just left with our tokens, essentially. Alright, we found an Oath, which would have been nice to have had earlier in the game. And we're just going to get the land. So we're getting closer to Avacyn, and our opponent is going down to 9 on the attack. But still not feeling too great about our situation now. This could be another Radiant Flames. We'll see. Kalitas plus removal spell would also be pretty annoying. Although we do only have tokens in play, so Kalitas isn't insane or anything. Archangel isn't the easiest threat for our opponent to answer either. So, it could just be like a Goblin Dark Dwellers this turn. Could be a Radiant Flames. We'll see. Alright, looks like it's going to be Kolaghan's Command. So, it's going to be getting rid of our Thopter and forcing a card to be discarded, actually. Which puts us in a tough spot. I think we just want to get rid of the Declaration and hold on to these Avacyns. So, of course, now we're vulnerable to something like a Dragonlord Slumgar, and we still didn't draw the land, but if we had discarded an Archangel on the flip side, our opponent could have just gone something like Goblin Dark Dwellers, Transgress the Mind, and both of our Avacyns would have been history. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword there, but we see how our opponent's having to use a bunch of removal on our tokens. If we had had a draw where we had curved out, we almost certainly would have won this game. There was multiple turns where we could have drawn a land for Gideon and did not. Still, depending on our opponent's hand, we're in it. We would have liked to draw a land rather than this Den Protector for our last turn. So this could be a Dark Dwellers. Okay, it is going to be a Dark Dwellers. I would expect Kolaghan's Command to get rid of Den Protector and make us discard a card. So that's pretty darn good. And unfortunately, we did not draw the 5th land. And now, of course, we're revealing 3 lands off of our Oath, which is pretty typical. We can just hold this land to protect against another Kolaghan's Command. Our last hope is to get this Avacyn into play, and then our opponent not have an answer for it. Alright, it looks like an Unraveler of Secrets. Some versions of this deck do play Jace Unraveler of Secrets, others do not. And wow, so we actually drew Hangerback Walker. So, we can make the combo play of Archangel plus Hangerback Walker. And I think we probably want to just go ahead and do that. We're hoping our opponent doesn't have anything for this Avacyn. And we can... Well, it looks like our opponent does have something for this Avacyn. So, there was really no need for them to Grasp of Darkness right there, but... It's pretty bad news to see that Grasp of Darkness there. And this is going to be a pretty tough spot to come back from. We can go ahead and play our hanger back out there for 3. But our opponent can just bounce it with Jace potentially. I don't think we actually played this game wrong. It was just our draws didn't line up well. And our lands kind of didn't rise to the top of our deck when we wanted to. That's Magic. So yeah, it is going to be a bouncing of the hanger back here. Makes sense. Alright, let's see what Oath of Nissa can find us. Alright, we're going to take this Avacyn. And I think we want to make the same play of just running out Avacyn here. And trying to play the hanger back for 0. To flip our Avacyn, but there's another Grasp, and I don't think we're going to be able to come back from this. Trying to think if there's anything we can really draw here. Looks like a big spell our opponent's getting ready to cast. Alright, Ruinous Path, so yep, that's going to be lethal. Alright, kind of unfortunate, but it happens.